Overclockers, my name's Bryony and I am super excited because it's that time again, another big graphics card launch from NVIDIA, the RTX 50 series. In front of me here, I've got two different RTX 5080s from Asus. We have the TUF OC and the ROG Astral OC. So without further ado, let's take a closer look at the boxes and then get them out. From what I've seen online, the Astral is the most hyped up graphics card from the entire launch. ROG seems to have done away with the Strix line when it comes to the 5080 and 5090 series, and instead their new flagship is the Astral series, and this card looks beautiful. You can see on the front you've got a big picture of the card there that shows you the fan design with a little bit of grey and silver, a little bit of RGB lighting. You've got the big ROG logo, the name of the graphics card, and then a little bit about all the different features, such as the 16GB of GDDR7 memory now you get with the 50 series, or a sync compatibility, and then the fact that we do actually have the OC edition. Flipping it round to the back, you can see it has this quad fan design, which I think is what everyone's really excited about. Asus says that this can actually improve the air cooling, the air pressure by 20%, and it also has a vapor chamber as well, which they're saying is patented, large heat pipes and some optimized fin spacing, which means that you should just have really good cooling with the Astral card. That good cooling is needed as well because this card has improved power delivery. So they've taken NVIDIA's reference design and they've actually added 35% more headroom when it comes to overclocking and performance. So it should be really good. If you happen to win the silicon lottery, then an Astral will really allow you to push it to the limits. And you've got the GPU Tweak Asus software as well. Like the third edition of that software will allow you to tweak all the voltages and the clock speeds and everything with this GPU. And then they've said it's going to be super reliable because they've put some sort of protection on the GPU to stop it from cracking. But I'll be honest, I've never heard of anyone's PCB or GPU cracking. But as it is such a heavy card, maybe it needs it, I suppose. Let's cut open the packaging. I am so excited. It feels very premium. It's just a matte black, I suppose, with a little bit of a ROG logo on there, but it feels very nice. ROG definitely know how to do the unboxing experience, and it also has the ROG slogan, "For those who dare," on the top. And then, oh. It has that really good new tech smell, like I don't know what it is. It must be like the glues or like the solder or something that you get when you open like a new graphics card or a new piece of PC hardware. Quick start guide. A thank you for purchasing an Asus graphics card. Oh, and then there's actually a warning in there. That's actually quite handy to have. So on there, it's telling you actually about the 16-pin connector and how important it is to plug it in correctly. So all the 50 series cards actually come with ATX 3.1 or PCIe 5.1. So they have actually updated that PCIe 16-pin connector with the new 50 series. But yeah, once again, it's just telling you, make sure it's plugged in. Definitely don't want any issues with that. I think that's a magnet. Yeah, it's got a back on it like it would be magnetic. Velcro cable tie with some ROG branding. Ooh! Oh, it's not what I thought it was. I thought it was a USB stick, because sometimes you get USB sticks that come with these GPUs, but it actually looks like it's a keycap, which is really cool. Oh, it's a spinny keycap. This looks to be the GPU support bracket, which I must say I'm a little bit disappointed by, but it is also a screwdriver tool. Oh, we have an ROG ruler in there. I think the graphics card's actually bigger than that ruler, so I'm not sure we can actually measure the GPU itself with the ruler, but it might come in handy, I suppose. It's a nice little item that you could have on your desk, I guess. Then we also have the Octopus connector. So with the RTX 5080, it's 3 8-pin connectors into the 16-pin. However, I would recommend investing in a new power supply if you're gonna go for an RTX 5080. You're already spending a lot on the graphics card, so you might as well upgrade and get a ATX 3.1 or 5.1 PCIe compatible power supply. But if you have to use an adapter in the meantime, make sure you've got 3 8-pins basically. Now I think I've kept you all waiting long enough, so let's take a look at the graphics card itself. There's a bit of foam packaging to help it survive shipping. It's huge. I was wondering how much of the box it was going to fill up, and it fills up a large percentage of the box. It's really heavy as well. Holy moly. I've actually forgotten my scales, but I'm going to weigh this and then I'll put the weight up on screen so you guys can see how much it weighs. It weighs more than any other of the 40 series cards that I remember. Like the ROG Strix was a really heavy GPU. This almost feels like it weighs like another half a kilo again on top of that, if not even like an extra kilo. Either that or maybe I've just got weaker, but it's so heavy and so massive. From the images, I thought maybe 50 series didn't actually look that much bigger than 40 series, but this Astral card, I definitely feel, because the Founders Edition, I think, is quite a bit smaller actually when you compare the two coolers, but certainly not the Asus cooler design. Whoa. Here's the shot of it with next to my head, how big it is. It's monstrous. I'm sure I saw people at CES like holding up some of the different cooler designs because they had a few on display. And yeah, the Astral is huge. And it's very heavy as well. It feels very premium, which is nice. But gosh, I don't know how any motherboard is gonna support this. I can't get over how heavy it is, but it does smell really good. Really good new tech smell. So taking a look at the back plate, let's just peel the peely, which we all know is the best part of unboxing new hardware. I give that a 3 out of 10, not very satisfying peel. It broke into lots of different pieces. Let's do the one on the cooler. Ooh. So that's that 4th fan, which I don't think we've ever seen on a graphics card before. It's a very innovative design. A lot of the other graphics cards that I've seen, the coolers, look quite similar, like they could have been 40 series coolers. Asus have definitely upped their game with the Astral. So this does have adjustable RGB on it, like the front bar here does light up with RGB lighting, and of course it is Aura Sync compatible, so it'll work with all your other RGB components like your motherboards and your fans, etc. But it's a lot more subtle than the Strix card, which had that big piece of RGB on the end, and it had like all RGB in the fans and things. They've definitely toned it down a bit with this card, and I think I'm a fan. I like the silver, I like the grey metal. It just feels very industrial, but in a nice way. Also on the front here, it looks like you've got 2 different modes. You've got quiet mode or performance mode, which is the same thing you normally get on all of the Asus GPUs. And there's a little switch there as well, so you can change the different fan modes. But I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's in performance mode, and you're probably going to want to keep it in performance mode because you've just paid for a 5080. Unless those fans were getting really annoying while you were just browsing the internet or watching videos, for example, then you might want to turn that down. You can also see it has got the 16 pin connector on the front there, and just like the 4080 or the 40 series, the PCB is very small, it's very short. This entire piece at the end here is just dedicated to cooling. Such a small amount is actually your GPU and your PCB and your power delivery. A lot of this graphics card is cooling. Should we measure it? I think we should. So it's 350 millimeters long and 75 millimeters deep. I mean, technically it's like a 2-slot card, but it's more like a 4-slot card, really. You probably aren't gonna be able to use your other PCIe lanes on your motherboard once you've got this installed because it is just that chunky. And on the back, you can see we've got 2 HDMI ports, these little dust plugs. And then you've got 3 display ports, and the RTX 50 series does use the new higher bandwidth DisplayPort 2.1, which is a nice upgrade. That is the ROG Astral. I can't wait to see what the performance gains are from such an epic cooler, but just from the unboxing video, you can tell it's beautiful, it's premium, it's wonderful. Asus have done such an amazing job with the design and the cooling and just the innovation with this card. I think this is definitely going to be the one that everyone wants. But even though we don't know the pricing just yet, I can already tell this is going to be quite a lot. I imagine, I think Strix was quite a bit of a premium, and that was like their original flagship line. So I imagine Astral might be even more of a premium than the Strix series was. But if you've got the money, it's worth it. I think it's such a beautiful cooler design. Moving on from the Astral to the TUF OC. So taking a quick look at the box, you can see it has a different design with these angular edges. TUF is all about like military grade components and durability. So you can see they have definitely gone with a more aggressive, like masculine design. The front of the box has a picture of the GPU itself, which you can see once again is a triple fan card, and it is this very plain like black and silver design. You've got the fact it's an OC edition. It's got obviously the same memory. It has got GPU Tweak 3, which is the software I mentioned before, and it's Aura Sync compatible as well. So it does have a little bit of RGB lighting. I don't think it's displayed on the front of the box. It's actually on the back plate of the graphics card, but we'll see that close up in a minute. So on the back here, it's telling you about the durability, the fact that it's military graded, which when you Google it, that seems like it would technically be a bad thing in the real world. But I think Asus is using it in the way that like military grade is kind of like high tech, it's advanced, it's better quality, I suppose. So they're saying it's more durable. It's using a phase change thermal pad. So a thermal pad should probably be better than thermal paste, so that'll improve your cooling. It has the same protective PCB coating, which will once again like improve durability, prevents dust, etc. It just tells you a little bit more about the cooling design. It also has a vapor chamber cooler, but it doesn't have the patented vapor chamber cooler that's on the Astral card. And you can tell already just from the weight of it that it's definitely nowhere near the same sort of cooler design. It's got Axial Tech fans, which I Googled, and apparently they're just fans. So that's just like a little bit of marketing there. It just has like cooling essentially. Once again, it's talking about like really good reliability. It has the same GPU guard thing that stops it from cracking, but it's something that I don't really know of happening to anyone. But both cards come with a 3-year warranty anyway, I suppose, so maybe it helps with that. And then it has, once again, access to that GPU Tweak 3 software, which is really good for like overclocking and tweaking and tuning your card. Although the TUF series isn't designed as much for that as like the Astral series, which obviously has like the upgraded MOSFETs and has better power delivery and is more designed for overclocking. The TUF gaming series is not so much for those that do like the extreme overclocking, but it still looks to be a really nice card. So let's get it open. They are really leaning into the military theme with the box as well. You can see it has these like little targets on here, and it kind of looks a bit like a map, and there's like a globe, and there's some sort of targeting system there. So quite a cool box design. It's definitely a different unboxing experience to the Astral. On the inside, we've got a little bit of foam, and then it's straight into the GPU itself. There is no messing around. I don't think you get many accessories. You've once again got the same octopus connector, your adapter. There's 3 8-pins. Make sure that your power supply has 3 8-pins or upgrade to the new series. You've got a little Velcro tie strap there with TUF Gaming on it to help manage the octopus cables. Oh, another magnet. So this is a TUF branded magnet, TUF Gaming magnet. The same GPU support bracket as the Astral. Nothing fancy, to be honest, but it's quite cool that it has a little screwdriver on the inside. And that's it. Let's get it out. Oh, there is something underneath as well. Quick start guide and warranty information, pretty much the exact same as what the Astral has. I think the TUF line is going to be a bit more affordable from the Astral, so it's nice that it comes with a similar set of accessories in the box. Although, new text melt it does not have, which is weird that the Astral has that, but not the TUF GPU. I will once again put the weight up on the screen now as well. I will say it's quite a bit lighter and also I think a bit smaller than the Astral card. So if you're concerned about the health of your motherboard and hanging such a heavy graphics card off of it, the TUF might actually be a better option because it's nowhere near as heavy. It also seems like the materials they've used for the backplate and around the fans and everything, even though it is really nice and it looks to be a nice gunmetal grey finish, it's not quite the same thickness as the Astral card, so it doesn't. It's probably where like a lot of the weight was coming from with the Astral, was like the massively thick backplate and thick metal around. But it is nice that it's metal, because a lot of graphics cards now are plastic. To be honest, you probably don't handle them that much outside of your case. It's nice that they have used metal. It definitely looks a lot more premium and it feels a lot more premium in the hand. And I must say, the peels are a bit more satisfying than they were on the Astral as well. I'm getting a really good peeling experience from this GPU. Very satisfying peel. And there's also a lot more peels. Extremely good peels. It looks so much better now as well without that plastic on it. You can really see the design of the card. I think TUF cards in the past have maybe been a little bit, I don't want to say ugly, but they just weren't to my taste, essentially. I think they leaned into the military aesthetic with like the black and yellow a little bit too hard. This one is actually quite similar to the Astral in the color. It has a gunmetal gray finish to it. It actually looks like brushed aluminium on the front here, which is really nice. And you've got these like metal, I guess they're not actually holding it together, but they've got some like bolts on each corner. You've got TUF Gaming across the top there, and then you've got these TUF logos on each of the fans, and then you've got the Asus logo on the fan there as well. And then it's got Get Tough, Game Tough, which it's a bit of an odd slogan. I think For Those Who Dare is a bit of a cooler slogan, but it's nice that Asus has like the different distinct brands. You've got GeForce RTX across the front here, and then the little bit of lighting that I spoke about was the TUF logo on the end. I don't know if that's, oh no, it will be adjustable because it has Aura Sync compatibility. I was gonna say in all the pictures that I've seen, it's yellow, but because it has Aura Sync, you'll be able to change the color of that, so you don't have to stick with yellow. But there's definitely a theme here with the Asus RTX 50 series cards. They've definitely toned down the amount of RGB lighting on them, which, yeah, it seems to be in line with trends that I've seen online. The back plate has a really big TUF Gaming, and then these like gray and silver stripes. Not a huge fan of that design. But once again, it's personal preference, You might be like, oh, I like that, that's really different. But I think, once again, this vertically mounted would look awesome in a build. I'm a huge fan of vertically mounting a GPU. There's so many good cases with like that are compatible with PCIe 5 riser cables now. Like for example, the Haven HS420 that we took a look at, that has a PCIe Gen 5 riser cable. And there's so many cases, like bigger cases that have come out recently that would fit these GPUs and would be ideal for vertically mounting them, because I think that the cooler designs are just so nice. Functionality and connectivity wise, you can see that it has the same size PCB, obviously, because it's still an RTX 5080. It doesn't take up that much space of the cooler. You have this massive area on the end here for more cooling, like we saw on the Intel Battlemage card that I unboxed not that long ago. The PCB is actually quite small. A lot of it is cooling. And then you've also got your 16-pin connector here, sort of in the center of the card, and next to that, like the Astral, you've also got your P mode and your Q mode. So it's currently in performance mode, but you can switch it to quiet mode if you want to quiet those fans down. On the back, it has the same connectivity. So you've got 2 HDMI ports, which are filled with dust covers right now. 2 there, and then you've also got 3 display ports, so 3 DisplayPort 2.1 with the bigger bandwidth, which is nice to see with the 50 series. And then it has a very similar mounting design as the Astral, where you've only got like the 2 mounting points, but the card overlaps by quite a bit. Overall, I think a very attractive card. I really like the kind of designs that Asus have gone for with the 50 series. They're a lot more subtle than some of the other manufacturers, so really good job to Asus. I thought to end, we would just get the 2 GPUs out together so you can have a look at the size comparison. That is the TUF, and that is the Astral. So the TUF is 300, oh no, actually it's a little bit smaller than that. It's 345 millimeters, and it's about 170 millimeters deep, whereas the Astral is more like 175 millimeters deep. Although it's maybe not that far off, to be fair. I think it's just the weight of it. It just seems so much more imposing. That has been my unboxing of 2 awesome RTX 5080 cards from Asus, the Astral and the TUF. These are both the OC editions, but I'm pretty sure the cooler design is going to be the same on the regular editions. When it comes to the OC clock speed, at the time of filming, I didn't actually know, but I'm sure it's going to be great. I'm sure the performance is going to be great, but do make sure to check out those independent reviews for all the cooling and benchmark information, etc. I think no matter which one you go for, you've got to made a good choice. I do really like both the designs of these cards. Obviously, the Astral takes things up a notch, but it will be at a higher price point than something like the TUF, which should be quite a bit more affordable. But they both have a really nice kind of grey and silver design with just a little touch of addressable RGB lighting. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, leave me a comment below, let me know which one you prefer or which one you're going to be trying to get. I personally love both of them. I'd be happy with either. And why not check out one of our other GPU unboxing videos, such as the Intel Battlemage card. I'll see you again in the next one.